WYNT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin sent 5 space tourists and an employee on a once-in-a-lifetime adventure to the edge of space today. CBS's Dina Demetrius has more on the flight from Los Angeles.
5 wealthy space tourists and the architect of Jeff Bezos' New Shepard spacecraft blasted off from the West Texas desert Thursday morning for a trip they'll never forget.
As soon as we got above 100,000 feet, you saw the sky getting darker, and when it turned to pitch black, it was just gorgeous.
On board, an investor, real estate veteran and his wife, a University of North Carolina professor, a space entrepreneur, and the spacecraft's designer, Gary Lai.
It was intense, and I did get a little bit of a feeling of vertigo. I did feel a little bit of nausea.
The 10-minute flight left the launch pad this morning.
On the way up, you're going 2,300 miles an hour, and you feel every bit of that.
The crew capsule separated from the 6-story tall rocket a short while later, 66 miles high, giving the space tourists a perspective few people have experienced firsthand.
You see this beautiful Earth and the blackness of the universe. It's the blackest black I had ever seen.
I wanted to do somersaults and all that, and I was just taken back by the view. It's you can't put it into words. You just have to see it.
Thursday's trip was Blue Origin's 4th crewed space flight.
All of America's got to get caught up to this, and we need a lot of people up here. I'm still stunned for words.
So far, that's not realistic for most Americans. The cost of a seat for the flight is believed to be in the $500,000 range, if not higher.
Just an amazing trip. Just thrill of a lifetime.
Bezos and other space entrepreneurs say people will live and work in space in the future. Dina Demetrius, CBS News.
Saturday Night Live star Pete Davidson was invited to be on the flight but canceled after a scheduling conflict. Jared Kushner participated in a virtual hearing with the committee investigating the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol, the first member of the Trump family to do so. Kushner was returning from an overseas trip at the time of the attack, but committee members believe he may still have relevant testimony. The White House says President Biden will not assert executive privilege for Kushner's testimony or that of his wife, Ivanka Trump, who the committee is negotiating with for her testimony.
The president has spoken to the fact that January 6th was one of the darkest days in our country's history, and that we must have a full accounting of what happened to ensure that it never occurs again.
The January 6th committee is also looking to bring in Jenny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, following revelations she worked with the Trump White House to overturn the election. CBS News has learned the committee is also looking into who funded some of the groups that carried out the assault on the U.S. Capitol. American defense officials and NATO are sounding the alarm, saying Russian troops appear to be regrouping while cities across Ukraine continue to be shelled. Officials in Russia are pushing back, claiming the White House does not understand the Kremlin following reports claiming Vladimir Putin was being misled on the state of the war. The Pentagon says Ukrainian forces are now on the offensive despite ongoing Russian airstrikes. Virtual peace talks between Russian and Ukrainian negotiators could resume on Friday. Today, NATO's Secretary General expressed skepticism, warning that he's seen little willingness from the Russian side to find a political solution.
Well, some spots in the mountains seeing plenty of sunshine this afternoon as afternoon turns into evening. Others, well, the overcast is moving back in. Outside right now, our camera at the University of Virginia at Wise, sunshine. Now those clouds are moving in, but we're cooling things down as well. You see temperatures into the low 60s right now. US 119 camera at Pine Mountain, a little bit more cloud cover starting to work in this evening. And you see what we're dealing with. Some of us had temperatures near 70 just an hour and a half ago. Parts of the viewing area are now dipping into the 40s. It's 48 in Monticello. It's 46 in Somerset. And that cold air along with some cloud cover, continues to move our way, and it continues to use westerly winds to do just that. We have plenty of those on the way in. Not nearly as breezy as last night when some of us topped 50 miles an hour for wind gusts out there, but still gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour on this Thursday evening. Pinpoint Doppler, it's a clean sweep except for maybe a shower trying to pop up into portions of Pike County. Otherwise, you see what's left of that low pressure up over Canada, continuing to push into the mountains. And we'll see those showers as we head into tonight. So keep that WYMT weather app handy. We'll have the opportunity to see a few of those showers as we head later on into tonight. We drop into the upper 30s by the time we wake up on our Friday morning. I'll have the very latest on when we could see more sunshine return coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Strong winds knocked down trees and caused damage to at least one home yesterday in southern Kentucky. A Lincoln County woman says her roof was peeled off her home moments after she had left with her kids. Crews in Boyle County were also busy clearing debris away when trees were knocked down. People will have to clean up and make repairs, but they believe recovery will not be too difficult, saying that neighbors are already lending a hand to help.
My husband and friends and family were able to get up and tarp it in the parts that it needed, so we were good last night.
Emergency management officials say the storm also left some without power, but as far as we know, no one was hurt. 7 years after the murder of a University of Kentucky student, 3 suspects charged in the case pleaded guilty. Roman Gonzalez, Justin Smith, and Efrain Diaz were all charged with the murder of Jonathan Kruger. He was shot and killed during a robbery. The 3 admitted to their roles in his death. Final sentencing is set for April 28th. Health leaders are sounding the alarm about a lack of health care access for rural women in Kentucky. Dr. Rebecca Todd is the only obstetrician gynecologist who lives in the Moorhead area and works full-time at the University of Kentucky St. Clair Women's Health Unit. She says the clinic sees thousands of women, putting strain on her and her staff. The lack of women health care providers has an even bigger impact. Todd says some of her patients have traveled hours to see her. The long distance increasing the chance that women will delay much needed care.
That they put off getting an evaluation for something like abnormal uterine bleeding, so weird bleeding from the uterus, and ultimately it turns out to be cancer.
UK St. Clair is working to recruit more OBGYNs to the area. Todd believes that can begin with finding people who already live in the community. A new masterpiece in the city of Hyden as community members held a ribbon cutting yesterday for a new attraction. WYMT's Chas Jenkins tells us about Van Gogh's Garden.
Bringing some color to the community behind City Hall.
I've always been a fan of Van Gogh and art in general, and when I first became mayor and we came here and eat lunch, I looked at it and I think, hey, that needs Van Gogh on that wall.
Local artist Derek Lewis wasting no time, spending around 80 hours completing the piece.
She mentioned the whole wall of Starry Nights, but I told her it would be too wide. And I told her, I was like, how about we just do a tribute to the artist? She said that she was completely fine with it, and she turned me loose. She gave me complete creative freedom.
Hosting a ribbon cutting Wednesday to a crowd of more than 60 people.
Picnic lunch for everybody that lived in town or anybody who wants to stop by and view the painting, and they eat lunch with us, and we had a pretty big crowd, and it was a very good day.
It was humbling to say the least. Like, the support has been amazing.
City officials say the mural has been a hit for community members.
Good place for like prom pictures or any kind of pictures. People's been coming here taking pictures that I didn't even know, and I know about everybody in town. So, you know, I was thinking, well, I don't know who they were, but we've got all kinds of hits on it and everything.
Interested in doing more murals for the city.
I would like to paint this whole town. I would paint the road if they let me. You know, they give me the money and the paint, I'll do it. Art itself, we need art in these communities.
Welcoming all to spend time in Van Gogh's Garden. In Hyden, Chas Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Lewis says the mural was his best work yet and adds that he wanted to thank the community for supporting his work. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we talked with some lawmakers who saw the aftermath of the destructive tornadoes that went through eastern Kentucky 10 years ago.
And a few more spring showers possible tonight before sunshine returns for the weekend. The full breakdown is on the way next.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized to the category.